We appreciate you, and we're going to jump right into it. I'm sure you're going to get asked this a lot. I hope I'm not annoying you by being the next guy to ask you, but any update, changes with Courtland Sutton, or is this a true, hey, get away, don't work kind of moment for the Broncos, both from the player perspective and from the front office perspective?
Well, I think talks are ongoing, but the way these talks work, and it seems like with not much else going on, I do get asked this question almost every show during the off season, it seems. But I think it'll get done right before training camp. Training camp, these contracts almost always need a deadline, especially if there's disagreement. If there's disagreement about the market value, I think Courtland has a right to ask for north of $20 million a year based on the receiver market. I think the Broncos have the right to not go that way because this is a third contract. It's tough to pull the trigger and pay. It's one thing to pay market value after the rookie contract expires, and you want to keep them for that second 3 or 4 year period. It's another when you sign these guys at top dollar in their third contract, which is what it would be with Courtland. He already received one contract extension, 4 years, $60 million. And so, now I think he's 29. They need him. He's good still. You wind up that teams don't like to pay too much in the future years guaranteed on third contract, and that could be the sticking point when these two really get down to talking turkey. So I don't think they're quite there yet with the numbers, and there's discussions, but it will be next month is what I think before they get a deal done.
As long as it's before training camp, Mike, I'll be all good with that. I'll be all good with RJ Harvey if he even takes a month, 6 weeks to get going in terms of his pass protection. What's your feel here? Because now it's the great debate of, is Dobbins the number one and Harvey's the number two? I mean, they're 1A, 1B. But I think Dobbins could be the man to begin the season, and, we'll see how Harvey can come along, mainly in terms of pass protection.
Yeah, I hear he's doing well there.
Good.
But I agree. I think it kind of makes sense. The Detroit Lions and Campbell, the coach for the Lions, is close with Sean Payton. Sean Payton coached him and mentored him, and he saw the way it worked there with Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yes.
And Gibbs was definitely 1B as a rookie, even though, I'm sure there were Lions fans, saying, give the ball to Jahmyr, give it to him. He's more exciting. He's flashier. And, but there's nuances to the game that the running back has to learn. And so I can see where Dobbins is 1A and Harvey 1B. And it might be that Harvey is the leading rusher, 9 out of 17 games next year. But I do think Dobbins will start out at 1A. And Harvey will be used in the passing game. It doesn't seem to me like Dobbins is used a whole lot as far as a receiver. Very good as a pass protector. So, I do think I think Dobbins probably, if he's healthy and he's ready to go and he shows himself in training camp. We haven't seen him yet.
Right.
And he had that knee injury at the end of last year and didn't look great coming back. He looked okay, not great. So as long as he looks like he did mid-season of last year, he should be 1A.
We're talking with Mike Klis, little offseason Broncos update. Mike, earlier this week we were talking about Marvin Mims and his role now going into year 3 and how he really came on as an offensive weapon the latter part of last season. If we told Broncos Country, fans in Broncos Country, like, hey, Marvin might not hit this certain number, 800-yard receiving season, but if you add his receiving totals and his return yards is he still going to be a very serviceable Denver Bronco? We kind of came up with a number of like 1,500 return yards and receiving yards. Is that realistic for Marvin? And do you think fans would feel disappointed in kind of his season output if the numbers don't blow up from the receiver side?
Yeah, last year, Marvin, it's with him, it's not the total. It's just like if he has an explosive play a game. That's really what Marvin Mims is about. It seems like there were times last year where it seemed like he made an impact and his yards didn't necessarily reflect that. But he broke a bunch of 20+. He had a bunch of 20+ yard punt returns. Didn't have hardly any kickoff returns. So that's going to be the big deal with Marvin Mims this year is the kickoff returns. And he's going to get that opportunity. So whatever that number, I don't look at kickoff return yards and punt return yards, but he'll be, if he's in the top 5 in both, whatever that means, that's good. As a receiver, 800, that seems a bit high. I think with Marvin, if every other game he catches he has a 25-yard reception, he's doing his job, because he's going to come out of the backfield, he's going to be in the slot. He's not going to catch a whole lot of balls, but they're going to try to shake him for a nice gainer here and there. So he's going to be tough to quantify, but he is going to be like a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, I think, going forward for the Broncos.
And a very dangerous one at that. Now, there's a lot of hot takes rolling around. Mike, you are not a hot take artist. You are a dealer in all things of the truth. So is it really a hot take, as some have suggested, the Broncos could win the AFC West? I'm like, yeah, I mean, they could. With all due respect to the Chiefs, 11 of their wins last year were in one-scoring games. What if 6 of those are now losses or wins or whatever? Like, things are changing. And I think the Broncos need to be looked at differently, Mike. I don't think it's a hot take to say they could win the AFC West.
I know inside the locker room, Sean Payton's got them believing that they're better than the Chiefs now.
Wow.
Whether they are or not, I'm not sure. But Sean Payton has these guys. He instills a swag in this team. That they're as good as anybody, and that's been part of the success the last couple of years. The team going from 5-12 in the Hackett Russell Wilson disaster to 8-9 to 10-7 in a playoff game. These guys, whether we think this team is good, whether we think this team can win the AFC West, they believe it, and Sean Payton's got them believing it. So. We'll see. I mean, I'm not – me personally, yes, the Broncos can win the AFC West, but a lot of things have to go right. And, I would say that, it's still 40% chance versus 60% chance that they win the AFC West, because until the Chiefs – I know everybody thinks the Chiefs are going to dive and slide because of their Super Bowl performance – but they were still 15-1 last year.
Yeah.
And, and their JV team was 0-1 at Empower Field. And then they went through the playoffs. Looked bad against the Eagles. They looked vulnerable with Mahomes hearing footsteps in the pocket. They shored up their offensive line. I think Andy Reid's got to run the ball a little bit more this year. It'll be interesting to see what Andy Reid does. He makes adjustments better than anybody. Everyone talks about the improvements the Broncos have made. Andy Reid knows what the shortcomings were, and he fixed them during the offseason also. So I'm still – it's 9 in a row for the Chiefs. It's hard to win 10 in a row, but until they do slip, I'm not going to predict they will.
Another real quick one.